Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to this week's edition of Monday's Messages. So, how was your week? I hope it was a good one. Spring is afoot. Spring's coming. It's on its way. Whether we like it or not, with our allergies, I love spring. Oh my God. My allergies hate it, but I love it. That was the surreal thing because last year at this time, do you remember? Everything was shutting down. It was so weird. Everything was shutting down, but spring. But nature didn't get the memo. Nature said, "I'm going to open up. I'm gonna shine." And so, in the midst of all the darkness, there was that little glimmer of beauty that stood around us all as we saw like daffodils coming up, the trees start to blossom, hummingbirds. So there was God comforted us during that time, didn't He? I was thinking back to that today. Is the message of I think needs to be this week. Be careful what you pray for, because back then I was not happy with my job. I was very burned out. I was trying. I remember asking God. I was like, oh, please help me figure out a way to work less so I can spend more time getting my speaking career going so I can leave this job and start doing what I really want to do, which is be a professional speaker. And I prayed and prayed and prayed. And then Liam also was dealing with some bullying situations at school. And we were looking at possibly pulling him. Well, my husband doesn't know this, so don't tell him unless he watches it. But I was looking at alternative forms of education, specifically with the YMCA. They had a kind of remote academy for the YMCA. So I was going to start checking into that. And I remember getting a call one day saying, okay, don't come to work today and don't plan on coming to work the rest of the week. And that was a year ago. And I was furloughed, and it was like, I was like, whoa, this is pretty serious. And then Liam, I got a call from the school. Don't send Liam to school. Liam, he's going to be home for the rest of the time here, working from his computer at home. I was like, oh my gosh. So these prayers that I had asked for were in a strange way being answered. Not the way I would have wanted them answered in the middle of a global pandemic, but they were being answered. I remember thinking too that, I was worried because Liam's health condition. I was worried about him. Every year their school would go on these roller coasters. Now that's Liam's thing, roller coasters. He loves, that's his passion. And I remember I was concerned about that trip for the whole time he's been in middle school. I've been dreading that trip because I wasn't sure what he'd be able to ride. And I knew he'd want to probably ride the Fury 325. And I wasn't so sure I was going to let him. And I was like, well, we'll just deal with it when it comes. Well, the roller coaster trip got canceled. He wasn't happy about it. And I'm whispering because he's in the room next door and he's probably listening. I found that he listens through the walls to my stuff and he holds it against me. It comes back to haunt me. So, but anyway. That got taken care of. So all these things that I was praying for and worried about due to the pandemic got canceled. It ended up solving all the problems. I was able to work on my speaking career. I got Monday Messages up and running. I got, my Toastmasters. I was able to actually do the international speech contest virtually. And that was amazing. I reconnected with my recovery. I was able to kind of hook back in with my meeting group of ladies that I always meet with on a daily basis. In fact, that grew, and so did my service in that group. It grew as well. So a lot of really good things came out of such a devastating time. And so I was like, wow, it really is be careful what you pray for. Because God answered my prayers, not the way I would have thought. Maybe I need to throw in the disclaimer. Please, God, could you make this happen and not have a big natural global pandemic? If that could be possible. Thanks. I was told when you pray that God gives you three answers. And I love this. One is yes. The other one is yes, but not now. And the third one is no, I love you too much. And that's a beautiful way to think about it. Because when I pray and I put my request out there to God, I don't know what's going to happen with them. And and it's not for me to say, and it's not for me to dictate how they need to be answered. That's up to the big guy upstairs. That's his doing. I can only just pray. If I'm gonna pray to win the lottery, and I go and buy a scratch off ticket and I win $1, I won the lottery. Wasn't what I wanted, so I need to be a little more specific. Could I win $1 million in the lottery? Please, God. But who knows? Maybe that's not even the right thing to pray for. I remember when I was working at Universal, it's like 2002, maybe. I got a job at Special Effects Stages. And this was a show about special effects that we did in these old sound stages, which was a lot of fun. And actually, I met some really great friends. One of my dear friends, who I still talk to this day, Peter, we became like a dynamic duo working together in these sound stages. But it was, as you join in a new cast, you always kind of find your people and make friends. Well, there was one guy when we were in rehearsals who really, we connected. His name was Dejan. And he also was in recovery. And he was hysterical. He was this super flamboyant gay black guy. And I loved him, and he loved me, and we were like, it was hey, where's Dejan? Oh, there he's with where's Kelly? We were always kind of together having our little mini 12-step recovery meetings together. And I just remember him saying, because it was getting stressful in the rehearsals, and I remember him saying, "Oh Lord, when I prayed for God to give me a job as a working actor in a soundstage, this is not what I intended." I laughed because that's exactly what he answered his prayer, just not what he was thinking about. Because we were in a soundstage at Universal Studios. It was a historic soundstage, but we were theme park workers, which is fine. It wasn't what he was meaning when he was meaning, I want to get a job, making it big. But God put us all right where He needed us to be. Likewise, when I was in that bad relationship, I would pray, God, please, 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 take away anything that's standing in the way for me getting to you. And then that toxic relationship Charlie would call and break up with me. I'm like, oh, hold on, God. Anything but the breakup with Charlie, because that's off limits. I need to have, I'll handle that one. So you can handle the rest of the universe and all that's in it. But yeah, hands off the toxic relationship. Which eventually, I did find my way out of, and it wasn't easy, but I did, and God was there the whole time. So God gives me just enough room to do what I need to do, and then He kind of puts me back on track. So that's, I guess, my message to you today is, how do you pray? What do you pray for? What has God done for you during this pandemic? I know we've lost loved ones, and maybe it's that you get to, grieve the loss with God, seeking God for comfort for the loss of the loved one that you might have lost. Where God was here the whole time. God cries with us, I always say, and God was, His hand was here, and He was holding us during this time. And there is light at the end of the tunnel, that we're going to get through this. It's been a year, but I fully believe this summer I'll be out doing stuff with my son. We'll be going to theme parks, we'll go into the pool, going into the mountains, playing, doing whatever. We're going to get back to life. And I see that, I feel that, and I know that God's with us 100%. It's like that dark cloud, the sun's always there, but sometimes the dark cloud hides the sun, but you can still see little beams of rays shining through. That's God. And now the dark cloud's starting to move away, and the sun's becoming brighter, and we're able to see more clearly our creator and our higher power, whatever you choose to call it, your higher power. I choose to call mine God. And, God, one thing I know for sure is no matter what, my God's got me today, and he wants me to be happy, joyous, and free. And my God is your God. So if my God wants me to be happy, joyous, and free, your God wants you to be happy, joyous, and free too. So go out there, be happy, joyous, and free today. And if you're having trouble doing that, just for today, just try to feel God. Try to close your eyes and be with God, and ask God to show up for you, so you can witness his warmth and his glow, and know that it all is well. According to God's plan for you, just for today, you're going to be okay. So that's all I got. I hope you are enjoying these Monday messages. If you are, subscribe. Hit that little subscribe button. Maybe it's over here. I don't know where I put it. But I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week for next week's edition of Monday Messages. Bye.